Hello, welcome to a new YouTube video. I haven't done one of these in a while. I thought I'd get onto the case here, as well there's a big week this week. And yes, I just want to show off my huge collection of European flags, which I thought would be quite fun. So I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna also go over my favourite flags as well, which are my favourite. So we're actually going to start with a flag that isn't of a country that doesn't exist anymore. And we'll get on to the countries that replaced it. So this is Yugoslavia. Sorry if I'm not saying that right to anyone from any of the former Yugoslavia countries. But yes, that is my first flag today. And next we're going to show off the British flags. So first of all, the UK. Second of all, my home nation of the UK, Wales, which I have to say, being Welsh, it's one of my favourite flags. Scotland, which is also another one of my favourites. I do love the British Isle flags. We also have England. And we have Northern Ireland to complete the... We do have an Irish flag as well, but I'll get on to that later in the video. But those are my main British Isle flags. We have our first Nordic... Sorry about this. We have our first Nordic nation, Iceland, and I do love the designs of the Nordic nations. They're very... The crosses are very interesting on the flags and on the Nordic flags, and I will get on to the rest of them in a moment. We have our first Eastern European flag, Lithuania. Again, I do love these flags. For some reason, I do like a bit of the Soviet history. So, yes, it's nice to have some of the nations that made up the Soviet Union in this collection. We have Gibraltar, which borders Spain, but it's a British overseas territory. We have Andorra. We also have Turkey. We have our first of the countries that replaced Yugoslavia, Bosnia and Herzegovina. We have another Nordic flag, Faroe Islands. We have Romania, which I guess is also part of Eastern Europe. We have another former Soviet nation, Moldova. We have North Macedonia, another nation that replaced Yugoslavia. We have Bulgaria, which is also in Eastern Europe, which is one of the countries I have visited over the years. Probably the only country that I have visited in Eastern Europe as well. Russia. Belarus, Hungary, Slovakia. Now, I'm sorry if I don't get the name right, but how I say it is Liechtenstein. I'm sorry if I said that completely wrong, but that's how I've said it. Um, Switzerland, which is hosting the big event this week. Italy. We have also Spain in the collection. We have Poland. We also have Azerbaijan, another former Soviet nation, which is definitely one of my favourite flags. It's, as well as Moldova, it's very different to some of the former Soviet nations. The flags, like, it's a very different design to some of the other flags out of the former Soviet bloc. The Netherlands, Albania, which is also another one of the former Yugoslavia members. San Marino, Belgium, Estonia, Norway, which is another Nordic flag that I absolutely like the design of. I like the colours of it. Like such as like Iceland, it's got very interesting colours with it. Slovenia, Cyprus, Sweden, Portugal, Ukraine, which again is this one is one of my favourite flags. I love the blue and yellow. Croatia, France, Germany, Montenegro, Denmark, Czechia, Malta, Finland, Georgia, which is another former Soviet nation. And I just, yeah, this was another good design of one of the former Soviet nation flags. Austria, Serbia, and an interesting fact that we've also seen the Montenegro flag. There was a time quite recently where Montenegro and Serbia were one country in quite recent history as well. Latvia, Greece, Luxembourg, Armenia, And finally, Ireland. Thanks for watching this video.